Oh my god, you guys. This is a really emotional route and I wasn't expecting it at all. Oh my god. I keep like... Everything's making me tear up. Like, I understand 100% completely what this route is all about, and it's hurting my heart so much, especially with the stuffed animal thing. Like, okay, story time. I'm sorry. I just have to tell the story really quick. The reason why I'm so emotional over this. Whenever I was very, very, very young, my grandfather got me a stuffed bear. And I had it my whole life. And whenever I was cleaning and packing stuff to move, it must have got mixed up in a donation pile or a garbage pile. And I lost it. And even though I know if it was donated, it's probably making some other kid really, really happy. And I hate that I'm getting this emotional over a stuffed bear, but you have to realize I was very, very close to my grandfather, even though he died almost 4 years ago now. So I understand where she's coming from, because that hurts a lot when you lose your childhood things like that. Even though, you know, it's just a bear, it's still really, really emotional, especially when it's one you've had, like, pretty much your whole life, you know? Anyway. I'm still not really sure I get it. It was Saturday afternoon, and Maya and I were with Satch in the library, bent over our math notebooks. Oh, we hadn't seen Satch in a while. I mean, it's a logical equation, but when I plug in the numbers, I don't seem to get the same answer as you. What am I doing wrong? Satch chuckled and pointed between my equation and the one in the book. You forgot to copy down these parentheses, so you're doing it out of order. Oh, jeez. You know, it's kind of funny, Hana. You're a natural for strategies and seeing patterns and things, which you think would make you good at math, but it's not that I'm bad at it. I get great grades in it. It's just that, I mean, if I know what the answer is, why do I have to go through all this stupid effort to show my work, and then the results don't match what I thought? I bit my lip, not liking how ditzy I felt, but Maya whistled. You really are a genius. I glanced at Satch's notebook, on which he was scrawling out a complicated algorithm for some kind of machine he was working on. I don't think I'm the genius. Satch looked up and grinned. You two are ridiculous. You'll be right up there where I am next year, so don't even act like I'm special or something. I blushed, but Maya rolled her eyes. The day I reach your level is the day Jared actually decides to date me. I winced at her put-down, but Maya seemed completely okay with what she just said. She finally had come to terms with the fact that Jared seemed, frankly, uncomfortable around her. I watched her carefully. Maybe this was exactly what she needed, though. Now she could get to know the actual Jared instead of the Jared she built up in her head. Although the actual Jared seems surprisingly fishy to me.
What's going on?
Oh, hey John. Hey man. What brings you here? I jumped. John appeared behind me, looking distinctly uncomfortable. Hands in his pockets, he gestured towards the door.
Hey.
I was hoping I could speak to you, Hana. I was looking all over for you. Oh, sorry, yeah, sure. Nodding, I nodded to Maya and Satch, then followed John out of the library. We stepped out into the slightly chilly air. I glanced at the clouds above us, silver ridges lining their edges. Looks like rain. I guess so. John nodded. I wrapped my arms around my body, getting a bit cold. I didn't have a comfortable jacket like John did. So I just wanted to apologize for what happened yesterday. I should have stayed with you or taken the Jock to my room. I know how you are with birds, so I should have been more careful. No, I'm sorry. I just had this crazy outburst and you had no idea what was going on. And I'm the one who said I could handle it, and I'm the one who let him out of the box. If you ask me, we're both at fault. John beamed as if somehow both of us being at fault exonerated us. It wasn't exactly what I wanted to hear. But there was no reason it couldn't work like that, so why not? Anyways, I wanted to make it up to you, so how's about we go on a date? Tomorrow. You know, if you wanna, and if you have time. I don't want to pressure you or anything. I beamed, clapping my hands together. Of course I do. I'd love to. Great, that's awesome. The sun broke through the clouds above us, warming my face. I smiled, stretching my arms out to absorb the sudden light. What a great day. So, about the new Jacques. I'm getting a little nervous. He's a really antsy bird, way more than I anticipated. He's just not as predictable as Jacques was. And now we're on Nuzhak. John was apparently completely unable to read moods. I had to tape over the entrance to his birdhouse because he kept trying to eat all PPG's nachos. I didn't even know birds could eat nachos. They probably couldn't. Well, Jacques was a robot, so... Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to spend a lot of time training him, but there's only 3 weeks until the play and the tournament, and I need to practice for that too. I'm starting to get a little worried is what I'm saying. It doesn't help that I'm procrastinate the heck out of these kind of things. The more important, the worse it is. Would it help if I trained him too? That way you could have time off to do homework or practice or whatever. John glanced at me in surprise, then chuckled. After everything that happened yesterday, you'd still offer to take over for me? I mean, if it's for you, I don't see the problem. Maybe if we work together, we'll even be able to teach him the old Jacques robot voice. Oh man, that's a huge weight off my chest. Thank you so much, Anna. John stepped forward as if to hug me, then stopped. Anyways, I gotta get back. Scene painting's happening today. I'm supposed to supervise. Last year they painted boobs and penises all over the set, so... Right, go ahead.
See you later.
I'll come pick you up tomorrow, so be ready. John jogged off towards the theater. I cupped my hands around my mouth. And don't you dare dress like Malkovich! John waved at me. Whether that meant he wasn't going to, though, I didn't know. With joy bouncing in my stomach like a squirrel on too much caffeine, I darted back into the library, intent on finishing my homework before the next day. It took me several hours to finish all the homework I accumulated over the past week. So much happened, and there was so much to process that I had almost no energy left over to do my work. But my impending date with John gave me vigor I sorely lacked. Smiling, I boxed my final answer on my math sheet. I'm done! I stretched my arms to the sky as the door opened.
Hello.
Mai, hi, how are you? I'm good. How are you? You're so cheery today. Is it about John? Is it about what John wanted to talk to you about? We're going on a date tomorrow. I'm so happy. Instead of the joy that I expected, Mai's gaze shifted away from me. She looked almost upset. Is it not a good thing? What? No, it's great. I'm glad you're going on a date with John. I know how much you like him. I think. It's just that, well, after you and John left, Satch started asking me some questions. He wanted to know whether John was still practicing for the tournament. Apparently, he's been skipping out on practice and hasn't been helping anyone prepare. He's told them that he's really busy with the play, but the guys feel kind of screwed over. He is one of the founders after all. If he's not putting the time in, why should any of them? But that's not fair. It's not? If you and John don't want to tell people what's going on, that's your decision. But then you can't be upset when people see your behavior and make assumptions based on what's there. I don't know what's going on, but John is slacking off. That's the truth. John is working really hard right now. He's got his hands completely full. Full enough that he has time to go on a date with you? But that's not fair! I'm just saying, this is what it looks like on the outside. The other guys are getting concerned. I told you, and now you know. You can decide what to do with it. What I should do with it? I guess I could try to get him to be less stressed. I'll try and get him to loosen up a bit. He's really swamped, but maybe I can do something to help.
Bingo.
That's the spirit. Might be a rough conversation, though. Why not just make it a comment? When you see an opportunity for him to go a bit easier, tell him then. That way you don't have to spend all your time with him angsting about it. There's no reason to not be excited for your date. But if John should be spending his time elsewhere... You don't understand boys at all. If you're important to him, he'll make time for you. If anything, this is a great sign. You think? Oh, I know. Come on, let's pick out your outfit. I stood in front of my mirror, running my hands through my bangs. There was a cowlick sticking up in front, and I couldn't get it to lay flat. John would be here any minute, and I didn't want to spend the entire date worrying about my hair. So, can I ask you something? Sure, shoot. You like John, right? Yeah, I guess I do. Okay. But like, why?
What?
I shot her a look, unsure of what she was trying to get at with this. Mai held up her hands in defense. Okay, hear me out here. I mean, the past few things you told me about him haven't been particularly romantic, and every time you guys hang out, you seem to get stressed or worried. I just want to make sure you actually like the guy, and it's not some kind of crazy crush gone Ari. I turned back to the mirror, pursing my lips. It probably did look kind of bad from the outside, especially since John and I have both been so stressed. But John did say the wrong thing a lot, and John did say the wrong thing a lot, which could probably be taken as actual consideration, like he was trying to hurt my feelings on purpose or something. But that wasn't the truth of it. John just wasn't that kind of person. He just thought differently from other people. That didn't make him any less sincere or his feelings any less real. Well, but now that I thought about it, why did I like him? When I tried to think of a reason, I just got happy feelings in my stomach of images of Jean and Jacques together. I couldn't actually verbalize it, but Mai was waiting for my answer. I didn't want to say something I would regret, or that I didn't mean, so I instead stuttered like an idiot. If I couldn't think of a reason for liking him, did that mean I didn't sincerely like him, or was just some kind of crazy infatuation? Was I more in love with love than with him? I was content with not stating the extent of our feelings. Now really didn't seem like the time to add more to either of our plates, but maybe that was a bit calculated on my part. I wasn't even sure what the extent of my feelings were, and if that was the case for me, couldn't it be the same for him? No, wasn't it more likely that he was trying to take advantage of me in some way, just because I was being kind to him? If you need time to think about it, that's okay. There was a knock at the door. My savior. I quickly pocketed my phone and my wallet, then turned to Mai. We can finish this conversation when I get back, okay? Bye-bye. Alright, have fun. Aw, John stood in front of my door, beaming as usual, and holding roses? Hey, I, got these for you. Oh, wow, thank you. I took the bouquet of roses from his hand, staring into the curled blooms. I'd never forgotten flowers before, and I didn't really know how to accept them. My parents owned a half-flower shop after all. I was usually the person selling the flowers, not the one getting them. I didn't own a vase, so I didn't even have anywhere to put them. 1 second. Oh, back already? Whoa, nice roses! Yeah, John brought them for me. Putting the moves on you, eh? I didn't know you liked roses. Yeah. Mai searched my face. You don't, do you? It's just that so many people come to my parents' store getting token roses for their partners, even yelling at my parents on Valentine's Day when there were none left because they'd get in trouble. But there was no thought in it, so they didn't seem like a meaningful gift to me. But at least he's trying. Anyways, can you find a place to put these? Sure, go on, get out of here. I smiled in thanks and headed back into the hall. Okay, let's get going. Right, where are we off to today? Well, I thought a lot about it, and there's this crazy good restaurant in the mall. I made reservations for a romantic candlelit meal for 2. Candlelit dinner for lunch? John watched me eagerly, anticipating my reaction. Oh, great, it sounds like fun. He grinned broadly, pumping his arm as if he just won a game or something. I chuckled quietly to myself. Sure, so candlelit dinners at lunchtime weren't my jam, but he was still taking me out and trying to show me he cared, even if it was in the most stereotypical way possible. Maybe there wasn't as much in it as I would have liked, but the feeling was still there, and I could go along with this. That's what I told myself, but holy shit was this awkward. John and I were seated around a table in the back of a dimly lit room, partially secluded from the rest of the restaurant by plants and paper screen dividers. Partially secluded, as we were surrounded by bickering families and old people out for their usual discount lunch. It was unusually hot, and the couple to our right kept hissing barbs at each other under their breath. The wife had already threatened to divorce her husband twice. You okay? You looking kind of pensive. Yeah, I'm fine. Sorry, I was just thinking. Thankfully, the waiter came to take our order. I asked for water with extra ice, and the man smiled knowingly at me. Just before walking away, he produced a small dark box from within his apron. He set it in front of me and winked. With a quick glance at John, he was off. What's this? Open it up. It looked like a jewelry box. Oh my god. No. No! John wouldn't buy me jewelry, would he? I grabbed the cardboard lid and ever so gently lifted it up. Inside were 2 small pink flowers shaped out of what seemed to be some kind of sugar. Oh my gosh, these are beautiful. Aren't they? Oh, okay. Whew! I really thought it was gonna be that fucking necklace. And I just about oh my god. I had them picked especially for you. I figured you'd probably never have one considering they're so expensive. He faltered in the middle of a sentence, for once aware of what he was saying was not the best given the situation. Anyways, they're my favorites. This old man from back home used to make some every March and bring them around to all the neighbors, which is a lot easier said than done because some of the grounds were huge. You had to walk quite a ways.
Really?
Why would he do all that? March was like a month of anniversaries for him. Him and his wife, him and moving into the neighborhood, him and coming to this country, all that kind of stuff. So we tried to share it, bring a sense of community to the neighborhood. That's so cute. My neighborhood used to have communal barbecues and movie nights and stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah, people would get together to help watch each other's kids, and when there was a yard sale or someone was moving, everyone helped out. We knew what it was like to be kind of sad and tired all the time, so everyone tried to help out when they could. We were usually happier helping someone out than we were on our own. That's so sweet. He peered at the flower in the box. So, you already know all about this then? I know about the feeling behind it, but I've never had this before. I'm really excited to try some. Great! He leaned toward me, resting his chin in his palm. His eyes stared deeply into my own, watching me intently. Did he expect me to eat it now? I was hoping to eat it after the meal. Sugar on an empty stomach usually made me feel sick, but seeing his excitement, I suppressed a sigh and took the flower out of the box. Oh! The flower was half crushed by my fingers, even though I tried to pick it up gently. Careful, these things are really fragile. John, with the lightest of touches, took the flower from my hand and set it in his palm, then held it out to me. Here, eat it. He wanted me to eat from his hand? I'm not gonna bite. Go ahead. Blushing furiously, I leaned forward and opened my mouth. John popped the flower into my mouth. It melted immediately. It was sweet and light, almost kind of like cotton candy.
Yeah.
So you do know it. The waiter brought in our food at that moment, which was a good thing because he blocked my completely incredulous expression from John's view. We headed back immediately after eating, John apologizing profusely for having cut the date so short. I shrugged it off. I know you have the play and the tournament to prepare for. Thanks for taking some time off for me. You're busy enough as it is. Are you sure you're going to be able to handle everything? Yeah. Well, I have you and everyone else to help me if I need it. It should be fine. He grinned, all optimism and cheer once again. I wasn't convinced. It was a lot to do in only a few weeks, and if there was one thing I knew from projects, it was that people usually underestimated how long they took to finish. John chuckled. You know, I was so worried about today. Were you really? Oh yeah, totally. I've never been on a real date before, and I had no idea what I was supposed to be doing. Never been on a real date, huh? The generic roses, the candlelit meal, the sugar-spun flower. Suddenly, it all made sense. It wasn't that John didn't know what I liked, it was that he was too concerned about what he should be doing. John had overthought our date and trying to consider my feelings. The thought was so funny that I burst out laughing right then and there.
What?
What's so funny? Nothing, you're just surprisingly cute. Seriously? Surprisingly, rather? Yes, surprisingly. We finally made it to my door, and as we did, I remembered the question Mai asked earlier. I said I would talk to her about it when I got back. Well, thanks for today, John. It was really fun. Wait, before you go. John dug around in his pocket. Internally, I balked. More presents? He withdrew another small black box and handed it to me. I got this for you. I took it, glancing up at him. More sugar flowers? Nope, open it up and see. No, don't do it. No, don't do it. Hesitantly, almost warily, I pulled the tab on the box.
John.
I knew it! No! Oh my god! Oh, my feels. All the feels. Oh, god damn it. Inside the box was the necklace I saw in the city, the amethyst strewn with the string of pearls. I remembered that it was your mom's favorite, so I figured you'd want one of your own. Now you can kind of be twins. I mean, it's not much, but I thought it might be nice. It was kind of like paying my respects to her, even if I'll never get to meet her. Oh my god! With trembling fingers, I clasped it around my neck. Does it look alright? Definitely. You look beautiful. Your mom would be proud. Oh my god, no, why are you crying? Did I do something wrong? Did I overstep my bounds? Oh my god, stop crying. Holy shit, please, no, what did I do? I pulled him into a hug, burying my face into his shoulders. Nothing, this is a good kind of crying. John patted my shoulders awkwardly. Good, I guess? I wiped my tears and stepped away from him, unable to meet his eyes. Sorry. Right, well then, I'm gonna go. Thank you so much, John. We should do this again sometime. Yeah! Definitely! John skipped happily away down the hall, hardly a care in the world.
Hannah.
Hey, back already? Yeah,
What?
Nice necklace! John, give that to you? I nodded, then took Mai's hands. Mai, I know John can mess up sometimes, but he's really just the sweetest, most considerate guy in the world. And I have heard this about John. You know that whole, like, 6 degrees of separation thing? 3 between John and I. And I have a friend who is a friend of John's, so it's kind of like, oh, and I have heard that he really and truly is the sweetest, most considerate guy in the world, so this doesn't surprise me at all. Are we talking about the same John here? I pulled away from her, chuckling lightly. It's weird, Mai. Sometimes John can be such a buffoon, saying the wrong thing at precisely the wrong time, completely ignorant of what you should never say to a girl. But then the other half of the time, he can be super sensitive and understand what someone's going through without them ever even needing to say anything. I shrugged. I just don't get it. But you like it? Of course I like it. Well, good. Oop. You were so sad the other day, I was really worried. Actually, I was so caught up in the date that I completely forgot about Mr. Bunny, too. Mr. Bunny? I glanced around my bed, looking for the tattered eye patch. I never introduced mine to him, which was kind of sad. Where was it? Where was it? I dug through the covers of my bed, then under the pillow, then inside the pillow, then under the bed, then in between the bed and the wall. I flung the blankets off, scanning the floor as I shook them out. What's going on? Where is it? Where's my Mr. Bunny?
What?
There was an eye patch with a button on it. It was fabric and it was Mr. Bunny, or what was left of him in it. Mai shifted uncomfortably and I stopped mid-sentence. Oh my god, this is exactly what happened to me. You... I thought it was trash, so I threw it out while we were cleaning up. I dashed out to the back of Primrose, straight to the dumpsters. The cool air chilled my skin, but I barely noticed it. Pulling open the lid of the first dumpster, I lifted myself up over the edge and was about to jump in when... Stop! The trash gets picked up Sunday mornings. Mr. Bunny is gone. I stopped, half hanging out of the dumpster. The smell of rotten milk and old bits of food wafted into my face. Slowly, I lowered myself back down to the ground.
Sorry.
I'm really sorry. I didn't know. If I'd known, I would never have done it. No. No, it's okay. I forgive you.
Really?
You do? I nodded. After all, I had real friends now. I didn't need to rely on Mr. Bunny anymore. I'm okay. I'll be fine. Mai searched my face, then grabbed hold of my hand. Come on, let's go back inside. It's Sunday night, after all. We should have some fun.
What the hell?
I know. Can you believe that? She says I love you, and he says I know. What the hell? I kind of like it. I think it makes sense.
No!
No, it just makes him a dick. This is why Luke is way better, and he should have gotten the girl. They're siblings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they weren't at first. They could have... They're siblings, Mai. What the hell is wrong with you? I'm just saying that I think Luke's sexiness goes way unappreciated just because he's... I can't believe you're vouching for incest. They did it in Clueless too. Get out of my face. Mai's actions were not intentional. I was sure that if she could go back, she would stop herself from throwing away Mr. Bunny. As sad as I was, I should try my hardest to let it go.